Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, Steve here, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. It's actually been a couple weeks since I've recorded a show. It's now kind of the middle of January, the new year. And honestly, the main reason I haven't recorded is because this year has been off to a pretty rough start for me. So I've kind of pulled back from social media and producing content, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but it's just how I've kind of responded to what's been happening, including both of my girls catching COVID, which, it's not uncommon, but still scary nonetheless. And then I actually hurt myself. So I've shared this before. I've been playing a ton of pickleball for the last, I guess, about 4 months or so. I play, about 3 hours a day, sometimes 6 hours a day. So it's become a pretty big part of my life. And I started dealing with some plantar fasciitis. If you've ever had that, it sucks. It's just kills your feet. Anyway, I had it in one of my my left foot. And I've been stretching it, icing it, rolling it, doing the things they tell you to do every day. And I went out about 2 weeks ago. It was really tight that morning. And I figured it would loosen up like it always does. And I started playing. And about 10 minutes into it, I just started moving towards the ball. And I heard a pop come from my foot, which has never happened before. And I knew that that sound was not going to be good. So as soon as I stepped down on it, I knew something bad had happened. So couldn't put any weight on my foot. So I took myself out of the game, put some ice on it. They actually wheeled me out of there on like a front desk chair. They wheeled me out of the gym, and I went over to urgent care where I ended up sitting in my car acting as a waiting room for like 2 hours because it was so busy with COVID patients so I finally got seen. Guy said, "Yeah, it looks like you have torn or ruptured your plantar ligament, which is a very pretty thick piece of fascia that runs along the bottom of our feet. It attaches at the heel and it attaches up at the ball of the foot. Obviously, it's very durable, very tough because we walk on it our entire lives, and it's pretty uncommon for it to actually tear. So as it turns out, mine did." So anyway, a visit to the foot specialist the next day. Yeah, confirmed that. Now I'm in this huge ass boot, still in it on crutches. Really shouldn't be, putting any weight on it. Anyway, long story shorter, it's really affected a lot of things. Obviously I'm not playing pickleball for the time being, it's tough. I mean, if you ever had something that you really enjoyed like this, like it's not just like a fun hobby for me. It's become not only social, but it's a great exercise for me. I've gotten pretty good at it. And, I kind of have some bigger plans for pickleball for myself, tournaments and other things included. So not being able to play at all is bringing me down. And so that coupled with my kids having COVID, they ended up staying with their mother. We have a week on, week off custody arrangement, and they got sick during her week, and they all got sick in their house. And so they ended up just staying there for my week too. They were all sick, and then her week. So it was 3 weeks, which was a long time for me not to see them. I mean, obviously I was FaceTiming them. We drove by a few times to the house to see them through the window. And, I was talking to them enough, but not having them here was difficult, very difficult. And so, you probably can't really resonate with this unless you're a divorced or single parent that doesn't have full-time custody of your children. So that was very disheartening. It was very tough to see them like that and not be able to see them and see them sick, not being able to do anything about it. On top of that, getting injured. And then I had a rough start to the year business-wise. Just, I was hoping that things would have been a little bit better as far as business. It's a new year, but it just didn't turn out that way. So those things have really messed with my motivation, and I have not been exercising much. My diet has, especially since the injury, has definitely taken a shit. Comfort foods, kind of feeling shitty about everything, and I just turn to food. And so the reason I'm sharing all of this, not that you necessarily care so much about, the personal stuff going on in my life, but more so that, I'm hoping that you can relate to a situation where a bunch of shit is going wrong in your life, or at least, is not going well. And it's how we respond to it. And so I'm sharing this just from my standpoint of a coach and a dad of, I'm not this, fitness guru that always does the right things. And my life revolves around eating vegetables and lean chicken breasts and brown rice. And I'm training 7 days a week. And, we see enough of that shit online, on social media. A lot of it is not even true. A lot of it is just bullshit. But I respond like a lot of other people would respond to a bunch of negative shit happening and things not going well. And I kind of withdrew and shut down, obviously from social media, from producing some content. But literally, because I can't really do much with the foot, I can't get around. I've been sitting at my desk for 12, 14 hours a day, and really have sucked my motivation to do anything other than just sit here and do stuff. So my garage gym is literally 10 feet away from where I sit and record the show, or where I do my work. And I just haven't wanted to do it because I just feel like shit. I just don't feel like doing it, right? And some of the gurus will tell you that you can't really rely on your feelings, and I totally get that, right? If you let your feelings dictate your actions, you're going to be fucked. You're not going to get anything done, because most of us are a roller coaster of emotions and feelings, and shit's always getting in the way. Shit's always coming up. There's always going to be a stress in your life, or at least one or more. And yeah, if you let your feelings about, day to day control what you do as far as your health, you are not going to get very far. And I get that. And yes, of course, that makes sense. And I just, the reason I share something like this today is to tell you that this is certainly not as easy as it sounds on a quote on Instagram, or when you look at someone like a David Goggins who, just pulls through everything. It doesn't matter how hurt, sick, tired, whatever. The guy just shows up and does incredible amount of work. And obviously people love that. I mean, the guy's got millions of followers, and he's doing extremely well with his business, and people really look up to him. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a very inspirational dude. But for the vast majority of us, we're not like that. We're just not wired that way. And I think my story is a little bit more relatable because, a lot of us are getting sick with COVID. A lot of us are having shit happen in our lives that's sucking us down. And I see it every day. I'm having conversations with guys in the groups, and yeah, it's tough all the way around for a lot of us. And so me kind of falling apart here in the beginning of the year when everything should be going great and it's a new year and rah, right? It just did not turn out that way. And I've allowed those things to bring me down. And yeah, I'm not doing the things that I know I should be doing. And I'm not leading by example. I'm not pushing through that at the moment and putting in the work, right? So it's tough. I often feel like a fraud when it comes to what I'm teaching, right? I've kind of pulled back, across the board on social media for quite a while, because I just truly despise, I really do. But I feel like a fraud sharing, these quotes or these images or whatever it is I'm talking about in a particular day, if I'm not doing it myself. And so I have a problem with that. It's a tough thing for me to try to teach something that I'm not living. And again, this is a very short-term thing, right? I mean, I've been training off and on since I've been 22 years old. So, it's a huge part of my life. But nonetheless, going through a struggle like this, and you may be thinking, wow, that's not really much of a problem, and you're probably right. But for me, being injured and not being able to walk really and get around, I'm extremely active, and then taking something out of my life as important, at least for now, pickleball, yeah, it's a huge blow. And so for you, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your thing is, whatever's holding you back, whatever is creating struggles and stress in your life, yeah, you have to make those decisions of are you going to let your feelings dictate what you do day to day? And the answer may be yes, the answer may be no. And again, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you and tell you to suck it up and stop being a puss, because it's really not that simple, right? I don't subscribe to the whole alpha male thing. There are plenty of guys out there that just are really up on teaching this whole alpha male thing, and it's become extremely popular on social media. And that's just not how I view manhood. I don't think that it comes down to sucking it up and pushing through it, because that's not always how it's going to happen. And I really would consider myself more of a realist. And if I'm going through these struggles myself, knowing what I know about the health and fitness world and being a coach and being in the public's eye, and I'm still doing this, a regular guy that's working a regular job that doesn't know a whole lot about fitness and health and emotions that are tied to that, they're going to be doing the same thing for sure. And they're going to be going through those struggles. And so I'm hoping that, if that's you and you're listening to the show, you just understand that this is normal. The point of this is to tell you that you're not a weakling, you're not a pussy, you're not any of those things. You're just a regular guy going through regular emotions that come up in your life. And yes, of course, you're going to have to make some difficult decisions. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. And yeah, you're going to have to face yourself and face the things that you're struggling with and make decisions that are going to improve your life. And so, I, just like you, know that what I'm doing right now is not helping me. It's not helping me get closer to my goals. It's not helping me with anything. It's not helping my business. It's not helping me professionally. It's not helping me at home. It's not helping me mentally, right? Because I'm starting to crumble a little bit. And I recognize these things, and sometimes we feel powerless to do anything about it, right? You just get sucked into this black hole, and it's just easier to withdraw and hide versus just getting back out there and doing the work. And so I've been working with a coach, and he's been putting me to task on just getting back out there and doing the things that I know I need to be doing, the things that I know without a shadow of a doubt are helpful, but I'm not doing them because I don't want to do them. I don't feel like doing them. And that's the thing. So, your takeaway here, guys, is recognize that there are going to be setbacks. There's going to be struggles. You're going to feel like a failure sometimes. You're going to feel like it's never going to happen. And I just have to tell you, this happens to virtually everybody. And you just literally have to just face this, take ownership, and then realize, okay, here's where I'm at. I can continue doing what I'm doing and stay down. And believe me, guys, a week can turn into a month, can turn into a year, can turn into 10. I've lived through a lot of that. And you just have to remember that it's your choice every day to show up and make a better decision. And so, I'm sharing this with you guys because I wanted to put this out there. I'm hoping that it'll help some guys. I now get to make better decisions. I get to change. Even posting this podcast, I didn't want to share this. I did not want to get on the air. I did not want to publish this. I didn't want to share this stuff with you because it's easier for me to hide behind social media, and everybody can think, wow, this guy is really, he's a 50-year-old guy. He's in great shape. He's doing all these great things. Why can't I be like that? And that's not the reality of the situation. Yes, I'm 50. Yes, I'm in pretty good shape, but I'm going through a lot of shit. And it is fucking my progress up. It is fucking with my head. And I've allowed it to do that. And now I just get to choose something different. And so I'm hoping for you guys, you do the same thing. Anyway, I really appreciate you listening. If you guys want to get involved in what we're doing, you can join our free private Facebook group, fitdadnation.com/community. We've also got a private membership program called the Inner Circle, which you can learn all about, fitdadnation.com/inner circle. Talk to you next week, guys.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.